welcome. In this video, I'm actually heading to a home visit session involving a couple of basset hounds that have gained quite a bit of control in the relationship with their owners. And the dogs are territorial, barking near the fence line, going after each other, and very frustrating situation for the dog owner. And again, this is involving two dogs. Now this is where, again, I talk about using a remote collar. Okay, I'm actually taking one with me, okay, just to demonstrate in terms of just to show them what this tool is represents, but in a way that I don't pivot on this device that way. Understand that, you know, in terms of introducing a remote collar, in terms through the system, it's a secondary tool. So the focus is on the individual. Understand the focus is on specific interactions that a dog comes into agreement with. So, but saying that, this is where a tool, in terms of an extension of the owner, okay, can be very helpful. But again, because again, I talk about making sense to the dog in terms of reconciling the role of influence by way of specific interactions. Therefore, making more sense means that typically in terms of how this is used, because again, the imagery with these devices is to shock a dog. Okay, I talk about the problems with how these devices are used through this very popular idea that trains a learning-based exercise, you know, balanced, force-free training, but the problem with influence not aligning. That's why there's so much controversy over these tools. But saying that, this is where trainers will strap these tools on right away. They're a pivot point, okay, and then finding the working level means you got to juice up, you got to use shock, typically at a higher level, because it isn't making sense to the dog, okay? But again, saying that in terms of what a tool represents, and this is where, again, this whole issue about, you know, when you deal with very frustrating issues like barking, okay, and, you know, years ago, you know, in terms of, you know, these tools, because I don't pivot off these tools, and because people are, you know, dealing with ongoing very frustrating situations, say living in certain residences with other people around, they're getting noise complaints because of their dogs. It's helpful to bring this tool on a little sooner, in terms of, again, I talk about how it's used. Vibration usually is what you can get away with, okay? Just vibration doesn't hurt the dog, it just vibrates, it just changes the focus. But again, in terms of it making sense, because now it's aligning with a method that makes sense, okay, because it brings the spotlight onto the owner, just like bringing the spotlight onto a parent, in terms of being dialed in, engaged, proactive, all the themes I talk about. Now this tool is a secondary tool, and it can be very helpful if you're dealing with something like, say, excessive barking, because you want to get that resolved, okay? You want that level of control, how it's manifesting that way, to get resolved, because again, you're dealing with perhaps complaints from the neighbors, animal control is being called, you may be on the verge of getting kicked out of your apartment, all sorts. So you want to not shy away from tools when they're helpful, but saying that, when they're aligned with the right method, it makes all the difference. Because here's the thing, you can bring a tool like this online, and if you're not changing, if the type of approach isn't right, I talk about a intentional interaction-based approach, then guess what? The dog's gonna say, this ain't making sense. They're gonna try to push through it. You're gonna be using shock at a high level, and you're gonna put stress on your dog. And it isn't gonna work anyway, because you're not really fixing the relationship, okay? You're just trying to overcome something, but with the spotlight not on you the right way, just like you're being a parent, okay? So understand that tools are useful if they align properly. So I'm taking this tool with me, and again, just to introduce it, in terms of get them to feel what it feels like in terms of the vibration, but not even consider putting it on the dog right away. I'll talk through it, introduce it to them, explain it, and then in terms of it making sense, then, because the focus during the first session is going to be on the method the right way, this is going to line up, so they can decide if the tool is a right fit for them. Okay, so understand that I'm not a remote collar trainer that way. So people, when they call me up and they ask questions about you know, do I do this, do that? I kind of calm the waters right away, say, well, the system of training is different right at the beginning anyway. And so let's talk about your concerns. Let's talk about the role of influence and why it is that the spotlight needs to be on you as the owner the right way. So again, it's all about proper insight and understanding about how tools align. I encourage you to watch my videos on, you know, remote collars, on tools, on all of it. I put out lots of great information on my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.